Hey, Casey here. So you're trying to make a change, and you say you're ready to change, and you make the resolve to change. You set the date, maybe you make the plan, and then when the moment comes, there's some invisible force that prevents you from doing it, or distracts you, or a situation comes up where you can't do it, or maybe you can't complete it. You feel it, but you can't name it. And that's what this video is about, that thing. I recently read a book called The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. And it's a book about creativity, resistance, and overcoming the resistance and regaining your drive. For most of my life, the creative part of me, the expressive part of me, the original, authentic self of me, it was just dormant. I left it in the past. And in its place was survival mode and overthinking. I lived from my intellect. I achieved, I analyzed, I figured things out. I did things other people wouldn't do. I did all these things not to thrive, but to survive and to be accepted by the people around me. Looked for external validation constantly. And when you're in that kind of mode, you don't really have time to be creative. I was always doing, I was always chasing, I was always trying to arrive. Wanting to do something and express myself in a certain way, but it's easier just to fall back to the default mode. And the default mode for me is analyzing, overthinking, engineering, figuring things out, overachieving. If I look good to other people, people will accept me. So I can work out and I can run errands and I can stay busy until I collapse. But when it comes down to sitting down and creating something from scratch, or expressing myself, or trying to change something about myself, that's where the invisible force comes in called resistance. And I get distracted. I suddenly other things become super urgent. I need to call that person. I need to run over here. Oh, I forgot to do this. I forgot to do that. Yeah, but you planned on sitting down and doing this thing. Yeah, but you set out to change that habit, but now you're back doing it again. It's sabotage dressed up like productivity. And it's not just about creativity. It's every time I try to change a habit or I try to level up my life, this little sneaky saboteur comes into my head and starts pulling me in different directions. It's old wiring, formed in childhood and reinforced by stress, programmed by a society that rewards burnout and makes stillness feel uncomfortable or wrong. I learned early, stay moving, stay distracted, and stay safe. But here's what I believe now, that you can change it. And it's not an outside thing, it's an internal change. It's a subconscious change because that's where this resistance comes from. It comes from our subconscious thoughts and beliefs because the wiring isn't permanent. We can change the wiring up here. It's called neuroplasticity. We can redesign our neural pathways and create a life that isn't run by default. We can get out of survival mode and switch into creator mode, creating our life with our thoughts, with our imagination, and going beyond the boundaries of our limiting beliefs that were formed early on in our life. You see this in people that are trying to change their diet. They start strong, but then they fall back pretty quickly to the old default mode, and they don't even know why. It's not weakness, it's programming. Our minds evolved for survival. Stay safe, avoid pain, repeat what's familiar. But survival mode today often keeps us from really truly living great lives. I have this list of what survival mode looks like today. Here it goes. Anxiety, constant busyness, avoiding our emotions, overthinking, distraction, scrolling, control, avoidance. These are survival mode of today because those things create an uneasy human being. And when we have unease in our life, dis-ease, we create disease, right? So we need to be living at ease, and that is overcoming the resistance in our minds. So we got to reprogram this thing. And I can speak from experience because I've done this work. I've reprogrammed my mind. I've rewired things. And I created this meditation for you, as you can see up in the top corner. Please use this meditation to step back into who you truly are, to start rewiring those thoughts and start living and creating the life that you always wanted. Namaste. Love you.